Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the velvet curtain on a world that is just totally shrouded in secrecy. Forget the shiny, recognizable status symbols you see all over social media. We're entering the absolute stratosphere of ultra-luxury timepieces, the ones worn by the world's silent billionaires. We're talking about brands so exclusive, their clientele is literally by invitation only, and their mechanical mastery is matched only by their absolute discretion. So that brings us to a pretty fascinating question. What does a $31 million watch actually look like? Well, the answer might surprise you. You see, while the newly wealthy are out there fighting over flashy, diamond-encrusted brand names, true elite collectors are playing an entirely different game. They're hunting for quiet, multi-million-dollar mechanical masterpieces. This is what we call the realm of the silent billionaire. These historic, fiercely independent brands, they don't advertise. They aren't chasing celebrity endorsements or plastering billboards in Times Square. No way. Yet they command prices for a single wristwatch that completely dwarf a standard home mortgage. It's kind of the ultimate flex, right? Wearing the GDP of a small island nation right there on your wrist, knowing that only the top 0.01% of horology experts will ever even recognize what's hiding under your cuff. Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, Centuries of Horological Heritage. Just look at the immense historical gravity here. Back in 1735, Blancpain set the gold standard, becoming the oldest surviving watch brand in the world. By 1790, Vacheron Constantin had already created a quarter repeater. Now, before electricity, this was basically a mechanical memory bank that could physically chime the exact time using tiny internal hammers and gongs. Fast forward to 1833, and Jaeger-LeCoultre is inventing the millionometer, measuring precision down to a single micrometer while everyone else is still using basic rollers. And then in 1839, Patek Philippe enters the scene, shortly after inventing the keyless winding crown. Before this, you literally needed a physical key to wind your watch. They gave us the modern crown we use today. It's just incredible. And speaking of incredible history, think about this famous quote from Breguet, "Every woman is a queen." Established in Paris way back in 1775, this brand served actual royalty, including Napoleon Bonaparte himself. They embodied this royal motto through just ultimate, uncompromising craftsmanship. They weren't just making tools to tell time, They were forging mechanical poetry for kings and queens. Which leads us directly to this absolutely staggering number, $30 million. That's the modern valuation of Breguet's fabled Marie Antoinette pocket watch, which was commissioned for the ill-fated Queen of France. Just imagine dedicating your entire adult working life, 4 solid decades, to conceptualizing, machining, and polishing a single timekeeper. Sadly, the Queen never even lived to see its completion, but her legacy is locked forever in those meticulously hand-finished gears. To truly understand this world, you really have to realize that the luxury watches most people aspire to own are basically just the entry ticket. To put it in perspective, an accessible entry point like a Rolex Oyster Perpetual starts around $5,000, and a Patek Philippe Aquanaut sits near $18,600. But take a look at the ceiling on the other end. An auction record for a Paul Newman Rolex Daytona hit $17.8 million. And Patek's Grandmaster Chime, which is a stainless steel watch with 20 distinct mechanical functions, completely shattered global records at $31 million. In this arena, the ceiling isn't glass, it's practically non-existent. Now, to grasp exactly why that ceiling is so unfathomably high, let's examine Lange and Söhne's grand complication. A complication in watchmaking is just any feature that goes beyond simply telling the time, so think perpetual calendars, lunar phase trackers, or split-seconds chronographs. Well, this watch features 7 of them, intricately woven into 876 microscopic hand-finished parts, all carefully housed in a rose gold case. It takes a master watchmaker 7 full years to construct just one of these, and only 6 exist in the entire world. This isn't manufacturing anymore. This is obsessive, surgery-grade horology built completely without compromise. $2 million. That isn't just the price of raw gold. What you're really paying for is the cost of buying 7 years of a master artisan's mortal life to perfectly engineer a single flawless watch. But, the watch world isn't exclusively defined by old European traditions anymore. So what happens when centuries of tradition crash violently into modern aerospace engineering? That brings us to Section 2, the modern mavericks. A racing machine on the wrist. That was exactly Richard Mille's vision when he launched his brand in 1999. He literally threw out the traditional rulebook and started utilizing Formula One manufacturing techniques. Take the RM5602, for instance. Sapphire is incredibly brittle, right? It's second only to diamond in hardness. Machining a perfectly curved, shatterproof case out of solid sapphire without cracking it takes hundreds of hours of diamond-tipped milling. It's an absolute manufacturing nightmare. But the result? A fully transparent, intricate mechanical marvel functioning inside $2 million armor. And this broader trend of bold innovation, it is completely unapologetic. Audemars Piguet really shocked the conservative watch world back in 1993 with the massive 42mm Royal Oak offshore. And later they fused high horology with pop culture in their $170,000 Black Panther edition. Then you have Jacob & Co., literally putting rotating solar systems on the wrist with their Astronomia, or their $18 million diamond-covered Billionaire watch. I mean, these aren't just watches anymore. They're loud, audacious, mechanical sculptures. It's the kind of watch that doesn't just whisper wealth, it screams it through a megaphone from the back of a super yacht. So, if the modern mavericks are out there screaming for attention, who is left to guard the ancient, quiet soul of pure horology? Let's explore that in Section 3, Independent Masters of Time. Away from the massive corporate groups, there's this incredible pocket of modern artisans creating highly limited, meticulously handcrafted watches that speak entirely in movements rather than marketing campaigns. FP Journe is a great example. They focus so deeply on legacy and engineering purity that they produce fewer than 900 watches a year. Yet their astronomic blue prototype commanded $19 million at a charity auction. Then there's third-generation watchmaker David Condu. He's crafting these ingenious, inclined tourbillons, which is a mesmerizing, continuously rotating cage that defies gravity's effect on the watch's accuracy, alongside seamless, retractable magic crowns in highly limited $200,000 pieces. It's absolutely brilliant. And the best part? The next generation of these elite artisans is already here. Petermann Badoff, founded by two young virtuosos, actually won the Horological Revelation Prize with their $65,000 debut, the 1967 Deadbeat Seconds. Now, a deadbeat second is a mechanical masterpiece uniquely engineered to tick exactly once per second, mimicking a basic quartz watch in this display of supreme irony and skill. And the true mark of their success? Even in the highly competitive luxury market of 2025, these pieces are actively reselling far above their original asking price. That is a massive rarity for a new independent brand. Okay, so we've explored ultra-complex mechanics and historical legacy. But what happens when traditional dials and deep mechanical movements are completely abandoned? That brings us to our final part, Section 4, Engineering versus Sheer Opulence. Enter Graff. This is a brand built entirely on diamonds, not gears. They treat timepieces not as instruments of measure, but basically as wearable vaults. They intentionally bypass horological complexity, sometimes even using basic quartz battery movements to power custom-built, jaw-dropping declarations of immense wealth. $40 million. That's an astronomical figure, and it's completely untethered from gears or springs. The value here is driven purely by the sheer brute force material opulence of perfectly cut, wholesale diamonds meticulously set into a single wrist piece. That price tag far exceeds almost all traditional mechanical watches in existence. So we're really left looking at two distinct extremes of extreme wealth. On one side, you have obsessive, surgery-grade horology. Thousands of hours poured into a mechanical soul engineered with microscopic tolerances that only a true connoisseur would even recognize. And on the other side, you have uncompromising gemstone power, where mechanics take a back seat to a blinding display of sheer material dominance. Which leaves us with one final, provocative question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. What truly defines extreme luxury for you? What really holds value in this stratosphere? Is it the dazzling, raw diamonds on the surface? Or is it the silent, generations-old mechanical legacy ticking away beneath the glass? It's a fascinating debate for sure. And the answer, it seems, depends entirely on which silent billionaire you ask.